I'm here in Austin with Charles Omenihu, the perfect person to get me right for this city. I haven't been here in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Why do you choose to live here when you know you can live anywhere coast to coast?
Couple reasons. One, my agent lives here.
Yeah.
My financial advisor lives here. My trainer that I've had since really college, Jeremy Hill, he has 2 gyms out here, Collective.
Okay.
So
Shout out Collective.
shout out Collective.
I'm going to go do
for
a
sure.
workout later today. Sounds good.
But then other than that, I like the scenery here. The food place, like I told you, guest house.
What's
gotta go.
guest house?
Guest house,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going
The
now.
guest house.
Can I call and say, like, I know Charles Omenihu?
Yeah, and
Really?
they'll let you smooth in, no waiting.
We're at a hotel right now. I saw you in the lobby. I mean, you're just ginormous.
Yeah.
And everyone just looks at you like, who is that? What is that? What's going on?
Yeah.
Do you get that here in Austin, or do people leave you alone?
I do get that a lot. The valet guy was like, "Hey, I knew that was you." I was like, "Yeah, like just make sure you take care of my car, buddy." But yeah, but people in Austin are like just super friendly.
Yeah.
It's not like a chaotic thing. It's more so like they love you, they appreciate you, and they show that.
What am I ordering at Guest House?
You have to get the spicy rigatoni for sure.
Done. In.
You gotta get the wagyu pastrami.
Okay.
You gotta get that, and then it's gonna be childish, but the chicken tenders are really, really good.
Look, you
chicken
can make
tenders are
all of
good.
my food choices for me forever.
Nah, yo, this super good. Super good.
How many questions do I have to ask you before we talk about the Super Bowl?
I'm pretty sure you're ready to talk about it. So,
I'm ready, but well, you're smiling. I feel like you've handled it quite well. You're in a particularly unique, interesting position because you are a free agent.
Yeah.
I know you've talked about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just want to start with you're walking off the field, and I'm watching you and all the things that are happening in this game, and it's not the color of confetti you want.
No.
And you're also, I would like to know just what's going through your head as you're leaving the field.
A little bit just blank. Like, is this really happening? But, you know, the game wasn't going our way for a little bit of time, so you're able to, like, kind of, like, low-key process that, you know, this is not going to be your night, and history won't be made, and some people are going to be really happy about that. But, I mean, it's tough. I hate seeing the Eagles win. Because we wanted that. We wanted that really bad. We wanted that bad for the city of Kansas City. I personally wanted it just for the organization.
Mm-hmm.
But it was tough. It wasn't an easy thing to do, but you got to understand that, like, it wasn't your night. And it just so happened that overall the team's worst game was in the last game of the year.
Were they just better than you on that day, or do you think they were just better all season? Like, there's this thought that, like, oh, these things that were bugging the Chiefs in these close games finally came to bite them.
I mean, they came out with a little bit more than what we did. You know, it's not the NBA Finals type of thing where you have multiple games to try and correct. It's like as soon as you put the shoulder pads on and lace it up, like you have to be at your best. And unfortunately, we just weren't.
How do you process that loss? You're saying you processed it even in game because it was out of hand for a bit, but. Are you in some sort of like a 5 stages of grief process? Are you over it? Do you feel like?
I mean, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you? Can I just ask you how you do that? Because when I talked to you last week, I was like, man, I feel like you're in a great place.
Yeah, I watched the film. I watched it 3 times.
Okay.
We had our exit meetings, talked to the coaches, and I mean, you can't go back in time. You can't dwell. Coach Reed said it perfectly. Like, you can't hang your head on this. Like, you gotta regroup. I said it, like, you got to retool and refuel. And you can't refuel and retool by still thinking about the past. So you kind of just got to learn from it. Like I said, I watched the game 3 times.
What did you pick up the 3rd time that you didn't on the first 2?
I just watched my bad plays over and over.
Okay. Tell me more about that. I literally would never watch a show over that I hated. I don't even watch
Yeah,
good
I mean,
ones
it's just like,
back.
It ingrains in your head, like,
Okay.
to never do that again. You watch it once. The first time I watch it is just to watch. The second time I'm watching is to, like, really watch my rush, like what I did pass rush wise. And then the third time is to watch my pass rush and, like, look over my bad plays. I wouldn't say bad. It's just like I had missed opportunities and a couple rushes, and then one play on Gainwell that I tried to punch the ball out. Wasn't able to. Kind of just told myself, like, in those situations, probably best to get him down, negative yardage. So, yeah. And then the offsides I had, just watching that, zooming in and seeing what was wrong.
And you do this like somebody asked you to do this, or this is how you process?
This is how I just do it.
I think that's a pretty great way to process it. You just nip it in the bud and keep it moving.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking you about what you were thinking leaving the field is I want to know how that affects what your future is, because you're leaving that field, and are you thinking at all? You're saying, I imagine you're a little stunned, but are you thinking like, this is my last game as a Chief?
Yeah, I mean that definitely went through my head, cause like it's like how do I know how to get back to this moment? Like, remember we talked last year, and I was talking to you from a perspective like, okay, we won, but I was hurt.
You didn't get to play.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I was fortunate enough to get back. I'm able to play, and then we lose like that. So it's like, darn, like what happens if I don't get back? Like those type of games I love. I love big games. Like I love primetime games. I love playoff games, because those are like, you make your name in those spaces. So, you could go to a team that might not be there, and you play at noon, and they're only shown locally, and nobody really sees your game.
You've been on teams like that at that moment in that vacuum, right?
I've had 1 year of that. My second year with the Texans. Every other time I've been on teams where we just play on prime most of the time. These last 2 years, we were on national TV all the time. Even with the Nines, we were on national TV all the time. So I thrive in those type of spaces. So it's like, the NFL, you just never know how things gonna go, and then you never know if you'll ever get back. I've just been so accustomed to championship games. I've been to 4 conference championship games in a row. I've been to Super Bowl 2 times in a row.
It's crazy.
Yeah, in six seasons, I'm going to year 7. So majority of my career, I've only known NFC, AFC championship game, Super Bowl.
I think it's all ahead of you.
I hope so.
It is. It is all ahead of you, and how you handle yourself, I think, and how you're thoughtful you are about it. And honestly, how aware you are that, like, how I might not get back here. People aren't always aware when they're in it like that.
Yeah.
So then you have to start thinking, like, what's the negotiation? If I'm you, gosh, Charles, it's so fascinating. You're like, you're in this thing where it's like, how can I think not just you, how does Andy Reid ever retire if Patrick's still there? How does Travis even contemplate not coming back if it's Patrick? Do you have those thoughts? Look, it's because then it becomes, do I go get a bag somewhere else, which you've worked for and earned?
Yeah. How
much less am I willing to take almost to be with this team where I know I'm going to a really big game? It's what you're dealing with right now, Charles. It's crazy.
That's why I have a great agent and David Mulugeta.
I love him.
Yeah. Shout out Dave.
That's a great one.
So I have the best agent in sports.
Yeah.
So I let him handle those things.
But the priorities are yours. Your priority.
Yeah, for sure.
How big of a priority? It sounds like. What's a bigger priority to you than playing in those big moments that you thrive in?
I'll first say that playing in big games is my number one priority.
Okay.
But obviously, when you're in a position to take care of your family, your kids to come, and generations to come, you can't overlook that. So it'll be like a hand-in-hand type of deal, and that's why I have Sean, my financial advisor, to help me with that, and then David to tell me what teams are being presented. And I know majority of all 32 team situations. I know who's going to be there and who's not, or who is climbing. And there could also be a team like the Commanders that come out of nowhere and draft the right quarterback, and then they go to the NFC Championship game. And now they're just a couple pieces away from being able to continuously do that. Now they're going to have to go against the Eagles and all that stuff. But, you never know in the league. The league is about parity, so they try and make to where they have more of those type of Commanders teams that come through. So you just evaluate and see what's best for you.
Well said. Charles, you had a 3-word tweet a couple of days ago that lit the internet on fire. You said, know your worth on the beginning of free agency. What do you want to clarify what you meant by that?
Yeah, I think it's an overall life thing that people can take. When you work hard at anything, and you can work hard and not be good, right? But when you work hard and you've shown your worth, you know what your worth is, you know what you bring to the table, you got to come in the room and understand that. And that's in any facet of life. Okay. I know people, when I tweeted it, they thought that.
Well, you sent another tweet, right? Second tweet was, please don't read into what I say on this app during this time period. Don't need y'all making assumptions.
Yeah, because I just don't want people to think, oh, there's anything negative that's going on in my world. There's nothing negative at all.
I can tell. There is nothing negative. Like, this man is a happy man.
I love Veach. I love Coach Reed. I love the Chiefs. Spags, Joe, all of them. I talked to Chris like a couple days ago. So there's it's just like I just think of stuff and hey, this might pertain to people. And some people might not know their worth. Some people might let certain things slide, and you shouldn't. Especially if you work hard and you're good at what you do. You should definitely like know your worth. You should definitely like appreciate yourself. And when it's time for somebody else to show appreciation to you, you would hope that they would. Even
money. Everything's even. Would you had to pick between the Eagles and the Texans. Who would you play for?
Wow.
When she's good, she's good. What do you got?
Can I plead the fifth?
No, this is not Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. No, you cannot plead the fifth.
Okay. Who would I pick if everything?
Well, because I didn't know you really didn't love the Eagles like that until you just kind of said it. Just picked up on
it. I have the
Eagles. I know you don't like the Texans.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'll play for Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that with the Texans? What's the residual? By the way, let's look at this. I saw you at this game. Was it this game?
Yes.
And you were talking about your power rush and Madden. We'll get to all that.
Yeah, they're gonna raise my rating with all the.
We'll talk about it.
With all the strip sacks.
But before we get into that, and you wanted more than this. This wasn't enough for you.
No, I wish I had 2 sacks.
Talk me through the sack. We'll roll the tape when we air the interview.
So we were in the mud call. They kind of like messed up the protection. The guard stepped down and then got to me. I slapped his hand down, and I kind of CJ took a shorter drop, so I almost ran past him, which would have been crazy. I think I would have just lost it if I ran past him. But my right ACL was ready to plant in the ground, and planting, I leaned and then knocked the ball out. I don't know, it's just like an instinct of mine just to, where's the ball at? Knocked the ball out, threw him down, but Shaq was able to recover it, the guard, Shaq Mason. But,
you're like rolling your eyes about it. It's so funny.
But and it's funny. That was probably my best playoff game. This playoff,
you got the Chiefs to where they needed to be. You were so revved up before that game, and then even watching the play. What is that? What is the?
Like I said, just like big games.
No, what's the Texans thing?
Oh.
How would you describe your relationship with the Texans?
All the players are my homies. Like, I got a lot of dudes that I'm very cool with. Laramie, Tyler, CJ, just to name a couple. Tank, Stephon, that I'm really cool with. Nico, but you just when you're exposed to the other side of the NFL, this side where guys talk about it's a business. They use the word it's a business, and in business, things can be not the best. That's why I would describe my experience with them. So it has nothing to do with the city, has nothing to do with the players. It really has nothing to do with even the current coaches there. Just things that went on, like I just didn't like, I didn't appreciate. I honestly, in that time, lost a lot of confidence in my game. In that was my 3rd year. That year made me lose a lot of confidence. And I'm very confident human being. So if in a space where I lose my confidence, it has to be something that I really feel a way about. It's not just a random thing.
It's just how you're being treated or valued?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
So then when I got traded, I was kind of sad, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So it's like a give and take, but that's what it is. And I'm somebody that uses things as fuel. So people be like, it's been so long, why don't you get over it? It's like, no. Y'all don't know what that had made me feel, what that did to me. But it ignited the player I am today, and to where you just can't give anybody, did I not use this in life? You can't give anybody a reason to devalue you. Yeah. Just.
How many sacks would have satiated you that day?
Where I would have been satisfied?
Yeah.
Probably one more and just be a strip sack and we recover it.
And then you're done. You're very honest. I appreciate that a lot.
Strip sacks are like demoralizing.
Yeah, of course.
But when you recover
snatching the soul from a poor
so
second
if I had
quarterback.
got one more, that would have been really good.
By the way, you're saying you use it as fuel.
Yes.
I just believe you're going to be a Chief.
Listen.
I just feel like unfinished business. I think that you watched the Super Bowl 3 times. I think you're going to watch it again.
I don't have my iPad anymore, so I can't watch.
You can't.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you're like not a Chief anymore? Is that what that feels like right now? Because
I
officially you're not, right? Is that weird?
The new league year hasn't started, so I'm still a Chief. Go Chiefs, Chiefs Kingdom. I love y'all.
See, he doesn't like when I even say. Do you guys? I just want. We're gonna hit the zoom on this. Like when I said you're not a Chief, he was like, "What? What?" I saw that. What do you make of this?
My boy Pat.
New hair, new man. What's the deal?
He went drop fade. Okay, took the little mohawk off.
Are you surprised? Why did he do this? When girls cut their hair, it's usually because they're going through a breakup.
I don't know. Pat, he might be like, yo, I'm getting older. He got, I think, 3 kids now. Mm-hmm. So he's in like true daddy mode.
Business mode?
You know what I'm saying? You can't have a mohawk and you got 3 kids.
Fair. If you were to predict for these Chiefs this next year, since you will always be a part of them. You have a lot of reverence for them.
I love the Chiefs, truly.
What do you think this maniac is going to be like in the next 10 months?
On a revenge tour.
What does that look like?
Just extreme focus, taking even more control of the organization. We're going to get my boy Rashid back. So that's going to be great with how X has been playing, and hopefully to be able to figure out the rest of the pieces. But I think it's going to be big time on, like, you know, he probably felt like he didn't have his best performance. And him being who he is and being the best quarterback in the league, he wants to come back and, you know, have one of those big seasons. So I think it'll be somebody that's on the mission for sure.
Travis is holding this whole thing up.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
I wouldn't
they
say
had
that.
to put him on a calendar.
Yeah, I mean, you give respect to Trav and give him his time. It's a big decision. It's like a life-changing decision. It's, all right, do I stick to what I've been doing for so many years, or do I transition? So I think he just got to take his time. I don't think he's just gonna like drag it out. That's not how Trav is. But
let's FaceTime him. Why don't we on one of your phones? Let's FaceTime him. Let's FaceTime him and just figure. I'll help you. We'll figure. We don't need data. We'll figure it out now. I feel like that's the chip. That's the. Well, but isn't it though? So that ship has to fall for Veach and company to figure out what else is everything.
Yeah.
You're chilling.
Just vibing.
And you deserve it because you're a made man. There's a huge market for you. My last question is, how are you? Like, what are the thoughts? You have a good team, which I appreciate, and you gave credit to your team personally and your trainers and things like that before even talking about yourself. What are you bringing to whatever team you end up on, or if you stay? What are you bringing in this next year?
I think I'm bringing a man that's gonna have a full season again. It's been 2 years since I've had a full season. I always kind of tell myself, like, what's going to be your next motivator?
Okay.
My next motivator is to show people what 18-game season looks like for me. When I had the 11 games and I had the crazy streak, that was like a taste. I was like a tip on the iceberg, like, okay, this is you. And didn't have the unfortunate thing, whatever came back and helped to the team. And that Texans game was me. The Buffalo game was me. Philly game, I feel like I played decent. But to be able to give a team a full season, full strength, full off season, you're going to get a guy that you're not going to be able to run my way. Tight end's not going to block me. I'm not going to get reach blocked. It's just not going to happen. I could go line me up against anybody, to be honest. It won't happen. And then you'll get a guy that's versatile, can rush anywhere, understands protections, can help a D-line room, kind of like everything ain't got to be one-on-ones. You can run games. I've been in 3 systems where I understand how to manipulate protection. You'll get a guy that I don't do too much of the rah-rah. I try and lead by example. I try and like just guide guys if they want to. So you'll get a guy that's going to be good in the locker room, help the young guys out, and just want to sack the quarterback. I just want to sack the quarterback. I just want to sack him.
Who's somebody that you haven't had a strip sack on?
I haven't had a strip sack on?
That you just cannot wait to demoralize.
That's currently in the league.
Yeah. Let's manifest it. I want to close my eyes. You tell me. Who is it? Somebody that you haven't gotten a lick on.
That I haven't gotten a lick on. That I really, really want to. Ooh, that's a good question. I won't lie. Probably Jaden Daniels. Either Jaden Daniels or...
It's all coming back to the Commanders in this thing.
Or
Interesting.
Or Bo Nix.
They got a lot of money, those Commanders. You've seen that? You've seen their salary? Have you seen their salary cap? You could probably add, I don't know, to the stack over here. You could add probably just a couple more. The real question is not what you bring to a team. It's almost what's the best situation for you. That's how the market's going to work for you. And sifting through it.
Yeah.
Order of importance, being on a team that plays meaningful big games.
Winning.
Winning and taking care of your family. I think you're going to get both.
I hope so. That's been my prayer since the season's been over. But,
and sorry, Jaden, to you for that.
Nah, I mean, he's a really good player. Oh, my goodness. And Jalen Hurts, I ain't going to lie. Just because he doesn't get, like, he holds on to the ball a little bit, doesn't get sacked too often. But the strip sack, either one of them.
Is that more on him or the O-line? Who are we giving credit to there?
Their O-line is really good.
Yeah.
Their O-line is really good.
Best you faced this year?
Yeah, them and the Bills.
The Bills O-line.
Them and the Bills. Very good O-line. The Bills handle games great. Like, they just jump on the pen trainers and twisters, and you ain't doing all that. You're going to win one-on-one, you're not going to win. The Eagles are just big guys, work well together. And
Why do you want Jalen so bad?
Because he won the Super Bowl.
Is that, yeah.
And he was Super
Did you
Bowl
watch
MVP.
the parade?
No. He watched the parade.
You couldn't have not seen parade footage. That's, again, you have two phones, Charles. There's no world where that didn't hit your algorithm.
I ain't gonna lie, I was out the country when they had that.
Oh,
parade.
really?
Yeah.
This man does things the right way. Let me say.
Yeah.
We're here to see Kevin Durant. I know he wasn't here at UT when you were. What's the best part about going to UT? UT's having a moment. I'm talking to Sark tomorrow. It's like a big.
Oh, you talking to Sark tomorrow?
Yeah.
I really like Sark.
Tell me what. I don't know much about him. What do you like about him?
He's an offensive genius.
Okay.
Great. When I watched them,
defensive stud liking an offensive.
No, when I watched them, his first 15 is crazy. The motions, the plays, the RPOs, the runs. It's just like, yeah, you spend a lot of time doing this. But no, I think he's an offensive genius. I think this is going to be my shout out to him. And I think any high school recruit, if you don't take a long, hard look at Texas, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
Why?
Because, I mean, like I said, I think he's truly an offensive genius. You have a quarterback in Arch that now he has a quarterback that he has a very good quarterback. Let me just say
what
that.
were you gonna? No, I need to know what you were gonna say. What'd you just?
You all know that. I mean, Arch can run. He can throw. There isn't a limitation.
He's an athletic Manning.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he's an athletic Manning. The other Mannings weren't as athletic, so there is no limitation that he has that they weren't. I mean, Eli and Peyton wasn't running away from nobody.
I didn't say that.
I think their granddad was, but it just be real. But yeah, he adds a dimension, bro, that like if there's nothing there, you can just take off and run. And he's gonna run people over. I love that. And he gets geeked, like he gets lit. I like that. He has energy. So if you know you're gonna have that quarterback for 2 years,
that's right.
And you're a receiver, running back, tight end, O lineman, that's just gonna help you out. Cause we all know, let's be for real. He just looks decent. He's going to be a number 1 overall pick.
Oh, I love. Maybe you'll play with him today, or Jaden, or this guy. I think what you're doing right now is you're making this guy want you back. You can't. He's giving all this love to these other quarterbacks. Like Patrick, you're going to hear this with that new haircut.
I mean, like it's just real. So like,
yeah.
I wish I wouldn't want to do the school stuff, but like if I was to rewind time and be a high school senior that had an offer from Texas, yeah, I'm gonna holla at him.
I love that. And then you get the spicy rigatoni at Guest House in Austin. And that's
Shout out
how
Jeremy.
we end.
Yeah.
Charles Omenihu, good luck. I can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you.